Today I'm going to be going through the new AP Top 25 for men's college basketball, along with some of my three kind of teams to watch for upcoming March Madness. So when it comes to the new AP poll, obviously Duke is now the new number one after Auburn with back-to-back losses against Alabama after Sears buzzer beater and honestly a pretty decent margin of a loss to Wade Taylor, Buzz, and the Aggies out in a College Station. So when we go to obviously Duke beat UNC, they were down for a good I don't know, a decent amount of time against UNC trying to win that game, try to get a bid maybe to get into March Madness, and R.J. Davis last game, but it just didn't happen. So Duke is now number one. Just destroyed the ACC in the regular season. So good for Duke. Cooper Flag. They're looking to go on a streak here in March with a pretty young team. That's kind of what's stopping them from being favorites. So then we go down. Houston obviously remaining strong in the Big 12. Auburn going down 2 spots. We got Florida going up for winning. Alabama going up for upset. St. John's staying right there at 6, and they've been good all year. Great overtime win against Marquette, and Rick Pitino's got the guys going. He's got the Johnnies back, and they're red hot. Going into March, going into the Big East tournament. Michigan State, Tom Izzo, just absolute class. They keep dominating the Big Ten with a statement win against Michigan. Here we got Tennessee. They went down 4. They've slight struggle past couple weeks. But in all honesty, we know that Tennessee can be capable in March. They just haven't shown it completely. They got Chaz Lanier. They got really good players. They got Zakai Ziegler, one of the best defensive guards in college basketball. It just really comes down to Rick Barnes and the coaching and how far the Vols can go in March. That's always the question surrounding them. Going down here the list with more surprising statements here, we got Maryland almost cracking the top 10. The Terrapins and Derek Queen, they're going on a good run here. Iowa State dropping out of the top 10 here. Unfamiliar territory for the Cyclones. They just lost to BYU last week at home. The previous record was 33-1, I believe, at home. Over the past year or two, I believe something stat like that. But a big loss to BYU and the Cougars. So out of the top 10 here, going in the Big 12 tournament, that Big 12 tournament's going to be big for Iowa State and how they're going to be a 3 seed or 4 seed. We got Louisville maintaining their position. Texas A&M skyrocketing after that big week going 2-0. Obviously upsetting Auburn, as I mentioned. And, beating LSU there pretty comfortably. They got Wade and Zurich. Both pretty good guards, I think. We'll definitely be ready for March. We got Kentucky. Kentucky going up 4 spots. They were on a decline past multiple weeks, actually, going 1-1. And they've been hurt. They've obviously lost Jackson Robinson out for the year. They had Lamont Butler still with a shoulder injury. Looks like it's bothering him a little bit, but we're starting to see Lamont Butler play up to his capabilities, being able to score, being able to play defense, which is what this Kentucky team's needing, along with an Andrew Carr great performance, upsetting Missouri. Mentioned here BYU winning that big game, so they're up here. Wisconsin, just a bad loss to Penn State. And, last year people didn't like Wisconsin either in March Madness. They're a 5 seed playing 12 seed JMU, James Madison. A lot of people picked that James Madison upset, at least in their brackets. I wouldn't be surprised if whoever matches up against Wisconsin to be picked as a majority upset in the first round again. Purdue, Missouri, Michigan, all on the downfall here with some losses last week. Michigan just a brutal loss there. And Marquette still in the top 25 here, but going down 5 after that St. John's loss. We go to other receiving votes. We got Drake winning their conference. They're hot. They're ready. They're a pretty good team here. And I wouldn't really consider them Cinderellas or underdogs because people know how good Drake is. We got Arizona, UCLA. We got VCU. The Rams are looking hot. They just got to make sure they win that conference title. Akron, the Zips dominating here. The MAC could be a team to watch. I'm not completely sold on them yet. The MAC hoops and their tournaments are always kind of crazy to watch. But when it comes to my three teams to watch, two of them got some votes in the top 25. The first one did not. This one could be more of a hot take, but I've seen their name mentioned a lot. And obviously they're number one in the Big Sky right now, and that is the UNC Bears. No, not the UNC Tar Heels, the other UNC, Northern Colorado. Statement win against Weber State here, and they're waiting tomorrow to, as they're the one seed in Big Sky, to kind of take over this Big Sky and make sure they get a bid for March Madness. Now, where they'd be at in the tournament, I'm not completely sure, but I'm just saying this team is pretty solid. They got depth and they got length, and I wouldn't count this team out. You know, you never know, especially before making predictions before the conference tournament happens is definitely something that you can't really gauge. But if they do win out, I think this team's pretty solid. Right now, they're 25-8, really good season for them. So this is a team I could definitely see being a team that could maybe win a game, maybe even two here in March. Not really a strong team, obviously, but just a team to watch out for, all right? This next team, though, I think could definitely make like a Sweet 16 run for sure, and that's UC San Diego. Throughout this year in college basketball, this whole season, they've been dominating the Big West. I've been seeing their names pop up on Twitter, been seeing their names pop up in Fanta's list, Power 25, Power 30s. They're good, right? So all they really got to do now is just kind of claim the Big West championship and just get ready for Selection Sunday. And I'm really excited to watch this team play on the big stage because, you know, they've been getting a hype and it for a reason. This is a good basketball team, and you know, hopefully they can get a matchup that goes towards their strengths and, you know, potentially be that team to watch for, like everybody loves to see. Finally, this one's not really a Cinderella or anything because the Mountain West last year got a lot of teams in the tournament, and ultimately the only one that performed, won a game actually, I believe, was San Diego State. New Mexico, I thought was great. I believe they played Clemson last year. I'm not sure if I'm correct on that one. I thought New Mexico was great. I like Patinos. And this year, they're coming back. They're first Mountain West. If we go to Mountain West Stadium, this conference is tough, man. Because you got teams like, obviously, I'm mentioning New Mexico, but then you got CSU, you got Utah State, you got San Diego State, and you can maybe see what Boise State does. I think they're outside of the bubble right now. But then you got teams who could maybe potentially steal a bid, like UNLV. Nevada was almost there last year. CSU's hot, though. Nick Clifford, Nico Medved, and the Rams are hot. Utah State's great. Now, CSU, I don't think's in the tournament right now due to the fact that their overall record is worse than Utah State and right there with San Diego State because the conference record doesn't really matter unless they win the Mountain West. But when I look for players to lead New Mexico into that next level to make a leap from last year, obviously Clemson's a top 10 team. Last year, I thought New Mexico had it with Donovan Dent. I'm looking for Donovan Dent to take over again this year. And I love how Patino coaches, big Patino's fans, like both of them. And this team, I think, maybe, just maybe, could get going and win some games here in March Madness. So when it comes back over to, when we come back over here to the poll right here, when it comes to title favorites, early predictions for my two favorites right now is Michigan State and Houston. Those are the two that I really think could win this year. Once again, I think this comes down to coaching at the end of the day. And age-wise, Houston's a pretty old team. I think Houston, I'm always big on Houston, and they just never get there. Last year, you know, injury to Jamal Shead was not ideal for the team. I think Houston or Michigan State are my favorites this year. And that will kind of wrap up my my thoughts on this week's college basketball going into the conference tournaments. You know, some have already wrapped up. And yeah, if you'd like to see some more college basketball videos, you know, like and subscribe.